I want to talk about the culture of my family and how it has shaped the culture of my personal life. I was born into a multi-generational Christian family. Faith was not something to be limited to a church service on Sunday, but a way of life. My parents attended Northwest Nazarene University, and my dad was a youth pastor at a church in Kirkland, Washington for the first 7 years of my childhood. Because my parents wanted to help encourage people in their journey of life, our home always had been an open door. Groups of teenagers would come and eat in our home, pray together, and talk about life. Parents of teens, neighbors, and other young families from our church would visit our home to share life together. My family was a place where people could be loved no matter what. My grandparents were also the same way. It seemed like there was always some new family living in their house with them that needed some help to get back on their feet. Each week, my grandparents hosted a meal for their 3 boys and their families. It was a great time to be with my cousins. Serving the needs of the less fortunate was something that we did in our neighborhoods and also in different parts of the world. My parents have traveled to many different countries to bring aid to those who are suffering, and I have been on 2 Mexico mission trips with my dad to build homes for the needy families there. I have also seen the benefits of being cared for by others. In 2003, our house burned down and everything we owned was lost. It was during that time that many people came and brought food, clothing, and support to my family while we tried to figure out how to rebuild our own lives. One thing we learned during that time is that stuff does not make you happy. When I was 11 years old, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I almost died, and it was a pretty scary time in my life. Many of my friends from my church and family came to support me. It meant a lot to me. My parents both grew up with music in their lives. My grandfather plays a pipe organ at his church and frequently would play his piano following a family meal. Everyone in the family would sing along. Having been an active part of church, I have been involved in many different musical productions, singing and playing the guitar. Most recently, I sang with my sister at a candlelight Christmas Eve service that my family puts on every year. My family has shown me that life is messy. It's full of failures and successes. All of them are opportunities to learn. When my parents got divorced, I was shocked. But as I have watched my parents rise out of the ashes, adapt, and become better human beings, I find strength to carry on when I go through my own failures. The men around me in my life have always had enough to provide for their own families and give back to others. This is something that I want to incorporate in my life as I continue to grow into a man and show love to those around me. The 2 greatest commandments are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and also to love your neighbor as yourself, which is the nucleus of my Christian family.